Okay, I know that this might sound a bit dramatic, but honestly, school prepared me for everything except real life. I mean, yeah, I know calculus, I know aggregate demand and aggregate supply, I know what money and capital market is, but somehow when it comes to real life, I feel so dumb. Like, nobody ever sat us down and said that here is your ultimate guide to move to a new city for college, or here is how to deal with failure, or just be a decent human being. So, this video is for every one of us who felt a little lost after school and felt that, oh yeah, we passed with a bunch of facts and knowledge, but not a single freaking clue on how to handle adulting. So, these are 17 things that you did not learn at school or during school, but you should have, from my experience. Because these are the things, or these are the kind of stuff that actually matters. The kind of stuff that hits you at 2 a.m. when you're spiraling or just figuring out how to fix my friendships or how to be at peace with myself. And honestly, these are the secret ingredients to life, and nobody ever taught us that. It would have saved me from a ton of headaches, like, honestly. And this is your sign, this is your green light to learn the real syllabus of life. Your signature should not be a blind yes. You can be a straight 95% student and still get scammed by a piece of paper. You know how to read the unseen passages, but not how to read the terms before signing a hostel agreement or the refund policy before enrolling yourself into a course. I mean, why to leave it on parents? Just after school, the life throws you into a whirlwind, and the college ID verifications and the scholarship bonds or club memberships, suddenly that boring legal document becomes your reality. You scroll past through terms and conditions like they're nothing until they cost you everything. That one unchecked box can lock you into this non-refundable course or make you legally responsible for a hostel property that you did not even damage. I mean, we spent years in classroom and nobody taught us how to protect ourselves on paper. This stuff is not just for the lawyers and the CEOs, it is for you right now. You don't need a law degree to know your rights, you just need awareness. Read everything, ask twice, never feel ashamed of not knowing anything, because that hesitation you feel before questioning something, that is what the world counts on to take advantage of you. How to adult on a shoestring budget. So, no one ever tells you this, but some of the smartest financial lessons you will ever learn comes when your wallet is almost empty. So yes, we were taught how to calculate compound interest, but not how to survive on 500 rupees and still make it look effortless. So budgeting when you're broke is not about shame. It is about strategy. It is saying that I'll skip that impulsive pizza order today so that I don't have to borrow tomorrow. And it is those tiny choices, choosing home cooked food over takeout, choosing a 10 rupee pen over 150 rupee pen. Ask yourself that, do I still need this, or there is something other than this thing that is more important for me, for my future? So budgeting does not make your life boring. It makes your life bulletproof, because once you learn how to survive on little, you don't panic with more. Learn to be your own handyman, because life won't wait for you to be. Do you know how to sew a button that fell off your shirt right before a presentation? Or do you know how to fix a leaking water tap without waiting for your dad or the plumber? Do you know how to fix a tire or write a professional email, reset a Wi-Fi router maybe? These tiny, unglamorous life skills, they become the lifeline the moment you step out of school. I mean, it's so funny and crazy how we are expected to be adults, live off independently, pay off bills, and nobody ever hands us the manual. Over time, I have realized that Google is your best friend, YouTube is your unofficial university, and trial and error is your teacher. So from fixing a jammed drawer using a butter knife to unclogging a sink using baking soda and vinegar. I have learned more from the 5-minute videos than I've ever learned from that 50-minute class. Because the moment you realize that you don't have to wait for anybody to fix your environment, that is empowering. Because once you enter college, your world changes. No parents to fix your things, no house help, and no teacher. It's just you, your broken drawer, your half-cooked Maggie, and Google apparently. So I wish that there was a class on Life Skills 101. I wish that school had prepared me how to live life and not just pass exams. Because fixing these small things, they build more than skills. They build self-reliance. And that belief leaks into your confidence and the ability to fix the unknown. How to handle your own money before life handles it for you. See, we were taught how to integrate but not how to split rent with our roommate. No one really explained us what a credit score is, what EMI is, or how taxes take a chunk out of your salary before you even realize it. I get it. We were not supposed to be chartered accountants at 17, but a basic class on how to be managers of our own money would have helped a lot. I mean, it would have saved me from a lot of future stress. Truthfully, I am still figuring this out myself. I am not sitting here pretending to be some finance guru. But the more older I get, the more I realize that not knowing these things, they cost us emotionally and financially. I mean, I've seen people at 20 signing up for credit cards they don't understand and then falling into debt they didn't mean to create. I've seen people panicking over taxes, and then this inner voice inside them keeps on telling that, why didn't we know about this a much sooner? So managing money is not about being rich. It is about being in control. It is about sleeping peacefully at night, knowing that you have your life in order, at least a little bit. So I'm also here still learning, and if you're watching this video, maybe this is where we both start. LinkedIn is your new classroom. We all would agree that kabhi na kabhi to life mein we were given to write an essay on my ambition in life. But we were not told how to present that ambition to life. Let's be completely real here. Even I have not made my LinkedIn profile yet. But every time someone mentions about internships, networking, I'm like, yaar, I should have done that by now. So you can't just say that I'm hardworking. You have to prove it, online, publicly, and professionally. LinkedIn is not just another social media site, it is your professional personality. So your profile does not need to be perfect, it just needs to be real. Start with a clear profile photo, use a short and a punchy headline, and tell your story like you're writing a letter to your future employer. And you don't have to put on a million things for that. You just need to show that you care, you want to grow, and that actually stands out. And I mean, we should just start building our personal brand on LinkedIn, because that is so important. And if you're watching this video, this is a sign for all of us to build our LinkedIn profiles yet. The subtle art of being played and how to call it out. Do you know what it sounds like when someone twists with your words or makes you question your memory? You forget that you were right and you start saying sorry just to keep the peace. That is gaslighting and that is manipulation. And no, it doesn't just take place in toxic relationships. It can take place in family, friends, and even in authority figures. Anywhere where someone makes you feel small so that they can feel powerful. You're overreacting, you're too sensitive. They're not just random phrases. They are the red flags that are waving around our faces, but we don't have the emotional binoculars to see them. And gaslighting doesn't always yell, it rewires your reality. And you start convincing yourself that you were the one at fault. We were not taught that manipulation can sometimes sound like affection. Love without respect is manipulation. Care without clarity is control. And you don't need a psychology degree to know when something's off. Your gut knows, and that is your sign. Unlearning the patterns that kept you small. Guys, nobody ever asked us to look inwards and question the habits, the beliefs, the coping mechanisms we once picked up to fit in, to survive, and to feel loved. Sometimes we inherit silence where there should have been honesty. We confuse self abandonment with kindness. Sometimes we believe that being the strong one means never breaking down. But, sweetheart, not every survival skill deserves a permanent place in your personality. Unlearning is not a rebellion. It is remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Ask yourself that, does this skill still serve me? And life teaches you that healing begins where blind obedience ends. You don't owe yourself the versions of love, strength, silence that broke you. You owe yourself peace. And peace begins when you start questioning something that you were not allowed to question. How to log off for your own sanity. Between classes, assignments, and social drama, we were already juggling enough. Now add this buzzing phone, endless scrolls, and the pressure of always being available. Your mind will be more cluttered than your study desk before finals. Trust me when I say, your energy is like your internal report card. The more you constantly say yes to everything and everyone, you end up failing yourself. Start small. Start by saying no to that friend's video call that has been keeping you away from resting. Or rather, take a break from that school WhatsApp group, because I believe that it is more chaos than clarity. Don't feel guilty for putting your phone on D&D, because who feels guilty for recharging or if they want to study? Boundaries are not rude, they are being responsible. And in a world that is full of online things and online people, being unreachable is the most healthiest thing to do. And rather, you were not meant to be plugged in 24/7. You are not Wi-Fi. Peace of mind is the real top rank. Speaking up like an adult. Don't mind, you all know English, but most of you don't know how to speak up. Communication is not about words, it is about courage. It is about how you speak when your voice is shaking, your heart is heavy, and your opinion is the unpopular one in the room. So being an adult in the conversation means listening without loading your reply like a gun, owning your mistake without disrespecting others, and speaking your truth without spitting fire. So you all know grammar rules, but now learn emotional grammar, like how to pause before reacting, how to ask before assuming, how to express without exploding, because world would not hand you a stage or a mic. It will test that how you speak when it matters the most. And trust me guys, a well-placed sentence can move mountains than a loud scream ever will. Being enough without the applause. You are not your marks, you are not your medals, you are not your resume. Ignoring the fact that we were taught the exact opposite in school, that your worth is equal to your grades, you're good enough if you top, failure is equal to shame. I mean, you were clapped for when you won, and you were ignored when you tried and still lost. And slowly you start tying your value to your marks, grades, achievements, certificates, and trophies, things that lie outside of us. If your self-worth is built on achievement, then the moment you don't achieve something, it crumbles. I mean, if you win, you feel enough. If you fail, you start questioning your entire existence. That is not confidence. That is a trap. You need to start seeing your worth as inherent and not conditional. You are valuable not because you're doing something or you're not doing something. You are valuable simply because you are here. You feel, you try, you grow, you care, and that is rare. Stop chasing approval and start building identity, because when you do that, something shifts. You become grounded and you become unshakable, because now your confidence is not built like a building that will fall once you do a mistake. It is built like roots, deep, quiet, and strong. Ask yourself that who are you when nobody is clapping. Look at yourself in the mirror and say that I am enough. And if you're not able to do that, that is not weakness. That is the beginning. Learning to love your own company. See, in school you were always surrounded. Classmates, group projects and assembly lines. You never had to sit alone during lunch break. But besties, real life is not always that full. People leave, schedules change, and silence gets louder, and we don't know how to sit with that silence. You know how to write essays, but we don't know how to write our own story without depending on someone else to make it feel valid, and that's the gap. You chase people, you chase parties to fill that void, and being alone is not the enemy. It is taking the first step, getting to know the person you are stuck with forever in life, and that is you yourself. Learning to love your own company is your superpower. Be the kind of person you would love to sit with, even in complete silence. And that is the lesson school forgot to taught us, and that's the lesson we need more than ever. Failure is not a full stop, it is a comma. Remember how failing felt in school? Judgy stares, disappointment, the red marks all over the sheet. In school, we were made to believe that failure is something we had to avoid at all cost. But in real life, it is where all the real lessons live. It's not your mistake. School made success feel like a straight line. Good marks, good college, and then good life. No matter whosoever you look up to has failed. Not once, not twice, repeatedly. What is the difference between you and them? They did not let failure define them. They let it refine them. And school में हमें डर लगता था उस चीज़ से. And that fear paralyzes people. It stops them from dreaming, from taking risk, and from even trying. What I have learned is that you either win or you learn. There is no in between. And if you're not failing, chances are that you're not even trying. You are everything that you're doing to rise again. There is no such thing as failure. Mental health deserved a period on the timetable. Take care of your mind. Never heard it from a teacher or anybody in the school. When your life at school ends, the real life starts throwing curveballs at you. Performance, pressure, expectations, and then suddenly you realize that the emotional baggage is heavier than your school bag ever was. So taking care of your mental health is not luxury. It is an education in itself. It is learning when to rest without guilt, how to journal your chaos instead of bottling it, how to reach out before breaking down. So we were graded on how good we score, but they never paused to ask that how are you actually doing? Remember that elimination method that we were taught in linear equations on balancing the two equations and then eliminating the variables x and y and then arriving at the answer. I wish they had also taught me how to balance and regulate my emotions and then arrive at a cause for it. Your mind is not a machine. Your mind deserves a check-in, not a checklist. And it is like a garden. So water it, talk to it, and protect it like it's sacred, because it is. Feeding yourself without a takeout app. Truth is, once you leave home, Zomato is not a survival plan. I mean, you can't microwave your way throughout adulthood forever. And I am not talking about gourmet meals. I am talking about knowing how to make a decent sabzi, a basic dal, and a poha that doesn't seem that it has been coming from a bar fight. Because one day your stomach will growl and Swiggy will crash, and that day you'll realize that knowing how to cook is not just useful, it will be necessary. And plus there's a weird confidence in saying that, yeah, I can feed myself, I can survive. So yes, we should have been taught that, because it's not just for the sake of food, it's about the feeling of independence that comes with it. And you don't have to be a chef, you just have to be someone who doesn't burn the kitchen down while you're making khichdi for yourself and you're not well and you're alone in your PG and hostel. Safety lesson every girl deserves. Do you know how to read danger in the room? Do you know what to do when that cab driver is giving you wrong kind of look? Sure, we had that 1 hour workshop in our school where we were told to be alert and carry pepper spray. But come on, 1 hour is not enough to make us prepared to walk home alone carrying this invisible fear in our heart. And then comes this big leap where we girls have to move out of the city for college and for dreams. New faces, new city, but with that also comes new fears. Girls, come closer and listen. Trust your gut. It's not being paranoid, it's being prepared. Share your live location with your family and the friends you trust. Walk through the path which has lights and which is not dark, even if it is the longer distance. You cannot trust anybody at any place at any point of time. Anything can happen. You cannot trust anybody. Carry your emergency cash, your ID, your pepper spray, and your charger like you are, traveling in some other nation. It is not just a girl's responsibility. If you are a guy watching this video, you are part of the solution. Respect does not just mean not hurting someone. It also means helping them feel safe in a world that rarely does. Check your friends when they're crossing the line. Make sure that your presence is not becoming a panic for her. We are not asking for pity. We are asking to be prepared. And safety is something that you should not learn the hard way by experiencing it. It should be taught, loud and clear. Build a digital feed you are proud to be Googled for. What you post today can either haunt you or help you tomorrow. The peer pressure does not end in classroom, it just moves online. You post to impress people, not to feel left out. You say things that you don't even mean. You jump onto trends that don't even match your values. You would agree with me that school is the first place where your peer pressure begins. And that one drunk reel, that one shady to look cool post, all of it stays somewhere waiting to be pulled up when you least expect it. Truth is, your digital footprint is the new first impression. Your Instagram and your LinkedIn, they speak before you even enter the room. And before you meet them, they Google you. And now the future you might have to answer that why the past you posted that photo or reel for clout. Ask yourself this question, that would the future you be proud of what current you is doing? Take my advice, do the most powerful thing you can do today for yourself. I mean, be powerful and intentional with your feet, with your words and with your voice. Decoding the looks, the shrugs and the silence. You know how we were taught to read Robert Frost's poems and understand the meaning behind every line, but not a furrowed brow, a nervous smile, and a slight step that someone takes away from you when they're feeling nervous. So yes, we walked out of school with these fancy report cards, but not an emotional compass. No idea how to sense that how much someone is hurting behind their I am fine. So basically, it is less about what people say and more about what they show. The eye contact, the voice tone shift, and the weird vibe that you can't explain, but you're feeling that in your bones. So that is also data, real unspoken human data. And learning to read it is not just a skill, or it is not just being smart, it is survival. It is to protect yourself from fake friends and fake smiles. It is how you show up better for you people, for your friends, and for yourself. So yes, we did not have a subject called Empathy 101, but we should have, because sometimes the most important language is not taught in your textbooks, it is taught in attention. So maybe you were a topper, maybe you scraped by, maybe school taught us discipline or how to cram an entire year into one night just before the exam. But real syllabus begins out of school, where nobody grades you how you are dealing with your heartbreaks, nobody grades you on how you are keeping up with your mental health while chasing success. And these are the real lessons that shape people. So even if you're like me, you're just starting, stumbling, becoming, that is okay. Nobody has to have it all figured out. It is just how you show up for yourself, for your parents, for the people you love, and in general how you are showing up. And we are still learning. This video is just a reminder, a sign, a mirror that become the version you were never taught to be, because now you know you can. Thank you.